So yeah, as far as incidental effects go, to be honest with you, I never really put that much heart and soul into my incidental effects because they're usually just little whooshy noises and whatever. So yeah, I mean, basically, I'm going to take whatever sort of noise that I can think of. In fact, can anyone think of some kind of noise from the world that they hear that I might have in my sample library that we can use? Which now? Cars, okay. That's a good one because I probably have it. Traffic, here we go. I paid him $50 before the show to say that. Cool, so we have some more sound here. Just a big chunk of soundy sound, you know? We can do so much cool stuff with it. My first inclination would be to do the kind of thing that I just did with the room sound. So in lieu of doing that, I will take its kind of properties as a whooshy kind of noise and use that. So say we get something like this. I could take, for example, an auto filter, single out just some of the frequencies in it. Could make this LFO here, which basically is the same as doing that, but automated. Clicking this little note down here will make things sync in time with the music rather than, rather than just happening at random. And this is the rate at which it happens. So that kind of thing, right? So I've taken what used to be cars and butchered it into something completely different. So, gonna put on my little metronome. This changes where the starting point of the LFO. I'm gonna basically get it in time as a DJ would with a track. So somewhere around there. And take the bass frequencies out of it yet again. You'll see me doing that a lot tonight. I'm going to put some delay on it, as I so like to do. And then to be predictable, a sidechain compressor as well, which you'll also see me doing a lot tonight, because I think there are many applications for it. Now, say I put this like here. So now I have this basically jumping up and down little shaky thing, which is really cool. I'm going to put that delay up quite a bit. And maybe a phaser on it as well, just for something different. And just to make it a total effects fest, I'm going to put a big reverb on it as well. Okay, and so now we have this kind of thing. I'm literally going to repeat that. Which might seem really repetitive, but given the kind of thing it is, once again, it's joining into this FX lane. So it's little family of buddies here. That's their little area. So that's I've basically assigned it to that area of the track. And so these are the parts that I want it to work in harmony with, so that they can be a stem together. Right, so that's one incidental effects in there. In a lot of tracks, I usually do maybe like 3 or 4 lines of this, and I basically just have them cascading one after the other. So I'll do another line. This time I'll just take, say, these are some effects that I've just put together myself, so something like that. I'll put that like here. And whoa, there we go for the whole track. If I want to make that more interesting later, then I will. How about I just take all these effects here and just copy and paste them onto there. See how that turns out. Maybe I'll get rid of the auto filter with its crazy LFO. And already I have this this part that kind of like will take one section and lead it into the next one. That kind of thing. So that's incidental effects. Incidental melodies I'm going to go through quickly as well, which is basically the same kind of thing, but with a more musical basis, with a melodic element to it. So we're in C minor. I'm going to make it really easy, just something like that, which without an instrument attached to it is not going to sound like much. I'll take like a native instruments because they're cool, something like that. Maybe I'll steal all the effects from this line. I like doing that, copying and pasting. It's all right if you mess with it later. It gives you some creative control. So what I'm going for here is a subtle background, which falls under the incidental effects atmosphere chain. And why don't we just... Cool, so... Right, so that's incidental effects and incidental melodies, subtle but important. Fills, I'm going to go through very, very quickly, because I'm sure that's something people are pretty familiar with. But that's basically just taking, a loop that you have, for example, one that you might have made, even if it's just like a 4-beat loop, and putting it in a space, such as 4 beats before the beat. Before the drop of the next phrase. So even though we still have nothing but the kick and the clap and this little looping bass thing, we're using everything else, all the incidentals and stuff, to create the movement and to create the feeling that the track is headed in some kind of direction, So yeah, basically, that attention to detail plays a very, very large part in house music overall nowadays. In fact, a lot of tech house is basically entirely based around that incidental stuff and that feeling of movement and that feeling of that stuff is going somewhere. So I've got a few more little effects here that I've put together. That we throw that in there as well. It's pretty bad practice to have two of those kind of sounds on the same channel, but so that's pretty cool. For now, I'm going to put that at the start of everything eventful that happens. So the start of the breakdown, the drop, back in here, after our little mini breakdown at 3 minutes something. I might even use it later on, reversed, clicking this little reverse button here, and make it lead up. Okay, so yes, that's bringing uniqueness to repetition with fills. The ostinato is a big one for me. what I'm going to do here is I'm going to recreate the steps that I did the ostinato for my track Paradox with, so you can just sort of see how simple it can be if you use arpeggiation and that kind of thing. And then I'm going to change it up a little bit and show you how you can make it a bit more interesting.